I'm sorry because I will mix my presentation in English and French to allow some people to understand what I'm talking about, because we have here a big delegation from the regime and they want to understand also what I'm saying, and I want to do it in a language that they understood. Mauritania is, you can maybe move on the second page. This is a picture, old pictures where the slavery was practiced in Africa, where people are collected, sent to Americas, but before they sent them to Africa, there was also a trade of slaves going into the Middle East and North Africa. And you can see the man in white clothes, they are the masters who collect the slaves. And this population is still in Mauritania doing the slavery, not like this, but similar. You can maybe move to the page. This is the population of the Mauritania. If you see the majority, which is in the red box, the red bars, it's the population descended of slaves and slaves. Among of these 50% of the population, we estimate 20% are still in slavery, living in slavery under conditions. But today I want to talk about the danger which is available, which our activists face in Mauritania when they fight against slavery. As he said, my president was sent to jail for 2 years for nothing else but asking to end slavery. And asking to end slavery in Mauritania is a crime in Mauritania, and you can't go to jail for 2 years for it. We have recently 13 of our members who have been sent to jails. They got sentenced for 3, 5, and 15 years because they are fighting against slavery. And you can imagine a country which called Islamic Republic in the world who sent people to jail because they're asking to end slavery. There is a reason behind that. I want to tell you why. In Mauritania, there is a kind of Sharia, or a kind of interpretation of Islam, a wrong interpretation, I would say, which is based on this Sharia. Slavery in Mauritania is legal. It's legal, and nobody can do anything against it, because our constitution is based on that Sharia interpretation. It's available. The books which summarize this Sharia, they are taught in the school, in the high school, and in the professional schools. And the regime is coming here to Europe, trying to tell the international community we don't have slavery, we have the law against slavery, we have this mechanism, and we have this, and they ratify everything they have been asked to do. But the problem is the application of the law in the country, in the land itself. Can you please move to that? No, the next. Exactly. This is, for example, all the tools the regime has released over the last 50, 60 years. All of them are aiming to end the slavery in Mauritania. But the result is we are still having slaves cases. We are still having masters, slave masters, which have been brought to justice. But every time we bring them to justice, the regime always says this is not a slavery cases, it is a family cases, and the justice has nothing to do with in the family issues. Because in the wrong interpretation we have in Islam is the slaves belong to his family. And if there is an issue between the master and slaves, it's a family issue, and the justice regime can't do anything. And as you see here, they release everything they want, but at the end, the slavery still persists and exists. And our organization, that is the point which I want to mention here. This is a list of arrests of our members, and every time we discover a slavery cases, we bring it to justice. We call the police to arrest the masters and to solve the problems. They arrest our friends instead of arresting the slave masters. And this is the situation which we are facing. As you see there, I just collected here some examples of cases where the friends have been sent to jail for 6 months, 7 months. If I count all arrests, I will need a book to write down all the cases we faced over the last 10 years. The last case which I want to mention here, it's happening in this year, June this year, where they arrested 13 of our friends for nothing because they accused them for something which is totally wrong, a protest of population and there was a clash between the police and the populations. There have been a policeman who has been, I don't know, beaten by the population and so on, but our friend was where no one were there. What they did, they went to our friends, they arrested them 5 to 6 days after the clash, and they said it's in flagranti. They have been arrested, they said in the charge, they have been arrested at the day when the clash was happening, which is totally wrong. And the end of that process, they got 3 years, 5 years, and 15 years for them. We asked for appeal. We went to the appeal, which has been closed 5 days ago, no, 1 week ago, and they released them. They said, okay, they did not participate in the clash, but we will give you, we will consider you as a member of non-organized, non-registered organization, and for that reason, they gave some of them 2 years, 3 years, and so on. And the funny thing with this situation here, which happened in June 2016, was they said there was among of 30 policemen who has been beaten by the populations, but after the appeal, the total of the population was of the prisoner was 20 person, 13 of our organization and 7 from other from the population. Thank you. And at the end of the appeal, they said, okay, everyone is free from the charge of the clash. Only 2 of them have participated in that clash. And can you imagine 30 police with arms charge everything against 2 people who have done that clash, which is unbelievable. That show you that how the regime is really dealing with the human rights defenders, the abuse of situations to bring human rights defenders, anti-slavery defenders in jail because they are doing something which is not allowed in Mauritania, which is fighting against slavery. The Republic Islamic of Mauritania is a country where the international community have to focus on, but also to try to protect our friends, our human rights defenders, because they are doing something which everybody will do, fighting slavery, protecting slaves, and also asking for justice and equality in the country. That is the problem we have in Mauritania. I want to end here, yeah, maybe later on if you have a question. So, do I have time more?
If you want 1 more minute.
Okay. Just want to speak to French. Okay. Cette situation que je viens de montrer démontre que l'État mauritanien n'a pas l'intention, n'a pas le courage d'appliquer la loi. Nous, en tant que défenseurs des droits de l'homme, nous demandons que l'application de la loi, et la loi qui est faite par la Mauritanie elle-même. Ici, la délégation qui est ici, elle est envoyée juste pour voir, pour dire que ce que nous disons ici, c'est des mensonges. Mais ils savent eux-mêmes qu'ils sont payés et ils sont venus ici juste pour nous contrecarrer. Et je leur dis que nous ne sommes pas des ennemis de la Mauritanie, nous sommes des patriotes et nous aimons notre pays, nous voulons la justice, nous voulons l'application de la loi. Si la Mauritanie ne voulait pas appliquer la loi, elle ne devait pas les faire. Jusqu'à 2007, on n'a jamais fait ce travail. C'est maintenant qu'on le fait parce que l'État mauritanien a montré à la communauté internationale qu'ils ont des mécanismes contre l'esclavage et nous demandons l'application de ces instruments et il n'y a pas une question qu'on les laisse sans les demander. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much.